Hi, everybody. It's Julie Keene from the Queens of Poker. We're here at episode 5, I believe. Yay. I have a special guest, Stacy Mucci from the Pocket Queens, which is a study group for women. It's more than that. It's everything like I wanted for the past 15 plus years of flailing around in poker as a woman, feeling very alone. So I'm super happy to find these ladies and Stacy and I'm going to let her tell you about it. And then we're going to talk a little bit about that study group with Pocket Queens and Pocket Queens in general. We're going to refer you to a great, another podcast on Rec Poker about it, and then cover that more later. And Stacy's going to help us with how to choose the best tournament at the WSOP, because I just learned some of this yesterday and I was like, oh my God, can you teach that? Because trying to figure that out is beyond me. And I didn't know there was like tools and a system. So welcome, Stacy.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Can you tell us a little bit about Pocket Queens, how you found them? I found Pocket Queens searching to make sure the Queens of Poker wasn't already being done, that there wasn't a podcast for women. I've been thinking about it for almost 2 years. And when I
Wow.
looked 2 years ago, I found nothing except some Poker Go and some clips like this Queen of Poker, Liv Bourret, or Maria Ho, or Jennifer Harmon, which they are, but that's all I found today, except I was able to find the Pocket Queens. It's on Rec Poker, you guys, and I'll share that screen and put a link before we go. This is the Pocket Queens website that I wound up on. I immediately signed up. And if you're a lady or you identify as a lady and you want to sign up, you're in. And then they had an amazing video, two of them. One was how to use Discord, because I was paying for coaching that I wasn't getting a lot out of because I don't know how to use Discord. And Stacy's been so kind to help me. And all the ladies in the Discord room or whatever you server have helped me. Like I've learned so much and I know it's helping my poker game. And I'm just so excited to share this because I know there's a lot of ladies out there that don't know how to do this and don't know what to do. And if you're one of the ladies who knows all this stuff, please contact me. I would love to have you share with the other ladies. So if you could tell us a little bit about your experience with Pocket Queens, because you're
Sure.
you're an OG now, that would be great. And then we'll go to the tournament choosing.
Sure. Well, there are, like you mentioned, there are other ladies groups, but there's not necessarily a ladies study group. So every day I watch the Software Wide podcast with Matt Berkey and friends, his only friends. And they had a woman on there, Victoria Lifshitz, and she was just coming into the high stakes poker scene. I had seen her actually on Poker Go, didn't know anything about her. And she appeared on their podcast one day, and she and I are actually a very similar age. And she also
Me
is in the
too.
tech industry, and I'm in the tech industry. So
Oh,
here we are, women in the tech industry. So, the tech industry, like poker, is very male dominated. And she basically burst onto the scene and made a
mhm.
splash right away.
Yeah.
But she talked about this group that, the study group that she formed. And the backstory, I'll give you the general backstory because you'll have
Yes.
members on that can really
Yeah.
talk about it further. But basically, Katie Stone gave away on Twitter. We see these giveaways all the time on Twitter. And she said, hey, I'd like to put some ladies in the ladies event, the 1K ladies event at the WSOP. And not only did she do that, but she found other people in the poker community to offer 1 hour of free coaching. So the women that won got their free hour of coaching, and they wanted to continue it. And they said, hey, Victoria, would you be interested in helping us form this study group? And Victoria, being the wonderful person that she is, just said, you know what, we'll do this. And so, this organic study group formed. They met every Wednesday night. They met around, I believe they started at 8 p.m. Pacific time once a week,
Hmm.
and they set up a Zoom link, and they did study groups over Zoom, and Victoria basically led it. And then there were more friends. They said, hey, can we invite our other friends to join us on these Wednesdays? So a group of about 8 people turned into now hundreds of women. So we have, and the word's been getting out that
Hmm.
we're more of a study, we're a study group. It's a smaller group than a lot of the women's groups, and we do still have these weekly Wednesday night meetings. There was a little bit of pushback of the time because these ladies were all in California. So, other women in other part of the world were joining, and that time just wasn't really working for all of us.
Mm-hmm.
So they worked with Solve for Why, who was gracious enough to let them, we now have our meetings all recorded every Wednesday. They did move it back an hour, so we won little victory for the East Coast women.
Mm-hmm.
But they did move it back an hour for us. And so now those meetings are archived. So anyone that joins the group can now go back and watch all of those on Solve for Why. They've given us the free access to their content, as well as having our meetings on there. And Victoria then went out into the community when she couldn't, she's playing all over the world, and she went out into the community and got people like, when I say she got names for us to be coached, she got Phil Helmuth, Daniel Granu, Chance Corniff. We've even had Jungle come on and speak. And they come on, and it's a very casual, intimate setting. There's usually up to 30-ish, maybe 40 on the live Zoom call. And at the end of our study session, they'll pick a topic. And at the end of the session, we get to ask them questions. It's just a great tool that women, I think, don't normally have access to. I mean, having access to the greatest minds in poker. When I joined, this is when we were working with the West Coast women. We said we want an East Coast
Like
study
me.
group.
Yeah.
So Kim Kilroy from Rec Poker, known as Pet Vet, some people know her. And then Karen Boyd, who's Karen Chess. She's a Twitch streamer for chess.
I didn't know that.
She said, yeah. So her husband's a grandmaster, and they stream chess together.
Wow.
But they said, in our Discord server, hey, we really want, we have this pads on pads study course, and it's very Pio solver heavy, and they've tried to get through it, and it's just really frustrating and very hard for them to get through. So it's like,
That's
okay,
the
why don't
name
we?
of the course, right?
It's pads on pads on One Up Next. It's Patrick Leonard. I think a lot of people who maybe on Twitter know who Patrick Leonard is. He's a big UK. I mean, he's the Never Miss a Sunday online guy, but he created this course. It's been a couple years now that he created the course, but these women were having a really hard time. And so we decided, hey, why don't we get together and try to decipher this course and see if we can get something out of it as a group instead of someone trying to do this on their own. We decided that, we worked with different times. There was, occasionally we'd work on a Saturday, or we eventually came around to doing lunchtime on the East Coast at noon. And Karen had a Zoom set up, and we put it out in the Discord and said, hey, here's a Zoom link. And anyone that wants to join can come in the Zoom at noon and come and go as you please. And we're going to talk about this stuff. We're going to watch these videos and try to figure out what's going on. And we started that probably like April of last year, before the WSOP. And there are some women that have been there almost every single day for months. And it's one of those things where the topics are different levels of difficulty. So we have women that have just started. We have women that have been playing for, like me, for 20 years. So we have all different skill levels. And we've gotten to the point now where we kind of pick a topic. So maybe it's, we're going to learn ICM and we're going to spend 3 weeks and 4 weeks on ICM. And we just try to find content that we can all watch and discuss. And it's different things that are out there. There's so much out there. The first hour we watch of content that's video related. I work full time, so I'm sometimes working in the background. We have women that come in that are maybe at lunch or driving to work from California. So everyone comes in and they're free to stop the video at any time if they have a question, or make a comment, or they just sit there and watch and don't say anything. You can come in and out at any time. And then afterwards, we do things like, we work on GTO Wizard. We'll work on a drill for what we just watched, or we'll do some poker quizzes. But it's very, very study intensive. It's not social hour.
The best. Like I just want to say real quick, my experience as a new person jumping in, you guys have been so friendly and so helpful. Again, somebody new to Discord, new to study groups like this, although I have paid for several different types of coaching that are mostly men because poker is mostly men.
Mhm.
And then like paying for Jaka coaching, I've had private coaches from lower a few sessions to full packages. And I feel like I'm already getting more out of the study group precisely because of the ladies in there who will say, stop, I don't understand. And I'm like, yeah, that just flew right over. I have no idea. I'm literally
Right.
watching it, like trying to get ready for work. Like, what are they seeing that I'm not seeing? But having like 9, 10, 15, even 4 ladies in there, I'm sure some days that are willing
Right.
to share their brain and their knowledge because we all have different strengths is the power of that.
Right. And I try to encourage people in the Discord all the time because I think when people come into the group, they think, oh, these ladies have been studying together for a year and it's this little clique and I've already missed out on so much. I try to keep saying, no, come in, come and go as you please,
Hmm.
stop and ask a question. And I, usually, when I'm not working, I see something on the screen and I say, okay, does anyone have any questions? Does anyone know how to read, does everyone know how to read this? Because chances are if one person doesn't understand it, there's more. And then we also get a lot of benefit for when we have to try to explain something because you can sit there and passively watch something, but then if you have to try to articulate what you just learned, you're also learning. So it's really a give and take. So
Yeah.
we've probably had now maybe 70 different women have come in. We have a kind of a core group, but then, people are traveling,
Hmm.
we all have lives. So people are traveling to different tournaments, but we definitely all meet together. We try to meet together during the World Series. We did a ladies meetup breakfast last year. So, that's going to happen again right
Hmm.
before the women's event. Um, and it's, I've met people. I live in Atlanta, I live near Cherokee, and I've had some women come. I had a woman come from Florida, from Michigan, and from New York, all come down, and Chicago. Actually, all of us met
Wow.
together in Cherokee. So there's really, it's just kind of a nice cohesive group, and people have definitely made different friendships from everyone. Something I didn't know, which I know a lot
Mhm.
about poker. One thing they tried to do was start an initiative. I don't know if you've seen it. It's called "You Count to Be Counted,"
Yes.
because actually, when you sign up for when Hendon Mob captures you,
Yes, that was the
your
second
first,
helpful video besides the
yeah,
Discord one. That's it, the Hendon Mob one. Go ahead.
right. When you cash, you're listed as a male, and then you're not
I
counted
was.
as you
Yeah.
were. Yeah,
And yeah, I think if you don't have a photo, you might go under men. We're gonna have Hendon Mob Anthony or somebody. He said we would have somebody on for a future podcast, of course, after WSOP and after their Run Good series.
nice. Yeah, because that's
Yeah.
something that I never knew.
Me
So,
either.
and there's different, ladies GPI now, women's GPI. So that was something that some of the women in our group did. Another thing that Mika started from it's the team. It's like the 100K team. There's a whole, there's a group that you may see out there. She started a mentorship program. So she's trying to pair up women that want one-on-one coaching with a person that would match for them. And she's absolutely phenomenal. She's the one that created a Discord video on how to do Discord.
Oh,
So,
okay. She's awesome. And I love
right,
mentorship is the best thing in my business. I'm in nutrition. There's always somebody newer than you, and there's always somebody later,
hmm,
unless it's your first day. But after your first
right.
day, yeah,
But
that's amazing.
it's really cool. Yeah, it's a really cool thing, and she has some pretty big. I don't. I'll let if you talk to her, I'll let her
Hmm.
divulge who
I
she's
want
gotten
to.
in there.
Yeah.
It's pretty exciting.
Yeah.
So that's one thing they've done. But it's like we do have like I said, our the main I guess group is going to be your Wednesday. Every Wednesday they meet at 8 p.m. on the Zoom call, 8 p.m. Eastern, so 5 p.m. Pacific, and the topic is posted, so you know who it's going to be if you have any questions. And a lot of times there are people that have come on and like Fharaz, it's like here are your choices of
Hmm.
what I can talk about. And not only did he do that, he also
He's
said,
awesome.
here are the discounts I'm going to give to the group. Which one do you think would be best? So
Wow.
he's given us discounts to his site. Chance came on and said, hey, you guys can do a week free on my site and test it out. So all of these all of these mainly men that have come on are just
Yes.
very, very generous with their time. And then on the nights that we don't, on the Wednesdays we don't have a lecture, we have an online on Club GG. We do a little league. So we have Poker League once a month where we earn points.
That's so fun.
And
So fun.
it's actually, I mean, Victoria, of course, has been gracious enough to give, there's $1,000 packages at the end of the
I didn't even
series
know
for the
that.
top. Yep. So she has one for the live version, and then she has one for the league. Where and we've actually also done we've started some mixed games. I again, it's a later time for me, but there is one day a week where they're doing mixed games and they're deciding to do it monthly. So for a whole month they'll do PLO, or for a whole month they'll do Deuce to Seven. And
Wow.
so there's
What,
that. That's also
what,
an option.
I'll get
That's
the
on
date from
Tuesday
you
nights, I
later. Oh,
believe. Yeah,
Tuesday.
I think it's
Okay.
Tuesdays. Yeah, I think it's Tuesdays.
Awesome.
So the women kind of have formed their own groups inside. There's no one really leading us. I mean, we have Victoria, and she's constantly, another thing is she's
Hmm.
constantly in the Discord. So our Discord is
Yes, I've
great. If
seen
you don't
her.
mind, I'm going to share our screen, if I
Please.
can
And
share my screen
while
and
you're
show
doing
you.
that, I'm just gonna say real quick, I asked about the mixed games because I've only played PLO, double board, bomb pot, in cash at the Lucky Lady between dealer changes, which is fun, but I don't know. And I've been looking for like free on ACR somewhere, and who I consider one of the very best female mixed game players, a crusher. I'm not going to give away, I don't know if she wants her name out there, but she offered and said she does private coaching right away on the Discord. And I don't even
Probably
know.
Kathy. Is
Yeah,
it
I
Kathy?
didn't, Kathy. Yeah, I didn't
She's
even know.
amazing. It's
She
almost like
crushed it at WSOP. You said her
she
name, so I'm
crushes it
guessing she doesn't
everywhere.
care.
Yeah. Well,
Thank
she
you,
crushes it
Kathy.
everywhere. She
I
is
will
like our
take you
resident
up on
mixed
that.
game.
Yeah,
Yeah, she
she's a cruiser.
if you let me share, I can show you the
Oh, sure.
Discord
Hold on. I have to stop sharing this and then you can share that one.
just
What
to
is
give you
my?
guys an idea of the kind of the
Yes. Go
different
ahead, sweetie.
topics. So let me know when you can see it.
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. So here's, our start here, the general announcements, things like that. But here we have, hand histories where you can post hand histories. And Victoria is in here. And get ready to be called by Victoria that you played something really bad because she will let you
Yeah.
know.
Wow.
But it's
That's
awesome.
okay. That's okay. She's
So,
killing it. She's killing it right
yeah.
now at the WSOP as we speak. This is
And
now I see a work of art. What I saw before was like listening to Charlie Brown's Teacher. I was like, oh, I don't understand the show. I don't get it.
yeah, and what's so
Yeah.
nice about these hand histories is you have people that come in that are playing all the time, and then you have people that are new and say, well, I would play it this way because I think this. So you kind of get all sides in your hand history. So we have, the serious things, anything on theory, on in the lab. Again, Victoria has been generous with Octopi, her solver, which I'm sure you've seen all over the
It was one
tables
of the
now.
first classes was her showing how it worked. I was like outside after a client walking and like on my phone, so it was kind of tiny, but I was like, "Oh my God, this exists." Like I signed up. It's amazing.
Right.
Yeah,
And it's an affordable solver for those that aren't ready for
GTO.
spending 70,
Yeah.
$80 a month and they want
Yeah.
something that's affordable. She actually, she let us have access to the beta for a very long
Mm-hmm.
time. And not only do we have access to the beta, but all those coaches you hear about, like Chewy,
Yeah, they're in there.
they'll comment on her hand. She'll go to them sometimes and ask about our
Wow.
hands and say, "Hey Chewy, what do you think of this?" So it's just really cool that she's so intimate with us.
Yeah.
Um,
And that's
so
Octopi
then
Poker.
there's
You guys, you could see it on the left there, the little logo of the octopus. And I will put a link to that in the I'm writing it down. In case you guys want to check it out. Octopi, that's just the name of it, app or something, right? Octopi
Octopi Poker.
Poker.
Yep.
Okay. Look, great name. So I will like Occupy. Love it. Octopi Poker. I will put a link for you guys. At most of what we talked to, I'm going to put a link. Go
Okay.
ahead.
And Octopi is George, and that's Nick Schulman, just so you know.
Who is
That's
it?
actually Nick Schulman with
Oh,
his little
that's not.
snappy hat.
Oh, oh,
But
okay.
that's who that's
Okay.
supposed to be. That's kind of how
That's
they
hilarious. Okay. I did not know that.
So,
That's
so
funny.
yeah, so we talk about all different things. A lot of us are on global and talk about different things there. We talk about if you have
Well,
questions on the WSOP
oh
and where
yeah,
to stay, or you need a roommate, or
love it.
you know
Discounts I
where am I
saw.
going to get healthy food? That
That I can help with
exactly.
that area. And also the you said it's like the crap show, the one where we talk about like last
The
night
shit
I had
show.
a bad
Oh,
issue with a
oh,
couple guys.
we have hot mess.
Hot mess,
So
hot mess.
hot
I didn't know
mess
about
is
that still.
our,
So
let's see, I'm trying
there
to
it
see
is, right
where
there. You passed it. It's down.
oh,
I just saw hot mess. I think it's down a little more.
oh,
Stop.
here we go.
Yeah,
Okay.
there it is. Yeah.
Yes. So I
I
don't
can't
really want to
wait to,
share. Oh,
yeah, not
yeah,
their
I'm not
personal
going to go in
stuff,
there.
but not their personal stuff, but I can't wait to, like, I see myself in there welcoming the new ladies. I'm still very new, but that's how friendly and that's how many women are pouring into this thing, you guys. Like, this is so needed in the poker world. Thank you to the founders and all the ladies before me.
Yeah, and this
This
is me.
is
I'm the cat in here.
okay.
But again, there's different, everyone posts their different
Mm.
live events, and it's like
There's the
who's coming,
ladies.
who wants a room. Um,
Yep.
so it's a great Discord, and there's even if you don't feel comfortable with Discord, like I said, there is a video that Mika created on how to use Discord. I think that I'm
It's
pretty
helped
good
me.
with it only because of the 2+2 forums. I don't know if you were ever on 2+2.
I was, but I had a hard time with those two. I was only
Okay.
playing on ACR online back then and
Okay.
Carbon, I think. Um,
Okay.
but yeah, I just needed somebody to show me how to do it because I can get overwhelmed with computer stuff pretty easily.
And it is
Uh,
overwhelming, and you can see, if anything's highlighted, there's a new, um, there's something new in there. But this is basically where you would find our study group, and we come in here and post every single day the Zoom link. It's either me
yeah,
or Karen. And if the other thing we do at the end of our study group is if you have a hand history, and you want to share it. Um, these
love
are
it.
global hands. Yep, these are
Hmm.
hands from global. If you have a live hand history, um,
And it's
we
not
kind
just
of
one coach, it's all these ladies' combined experiences that somebody may not have experience, but somebody else may, which is what I love. And all the women that I've met already in the group, like Karen, you mentioned, I didn't know she was a chess master, but Cindy, oh gee, what did she say? She's in her 80s?
she's set, yeah, in her 70s. I mean, we have
Okay.
women of all ages. We have women in their 20s, and all the
It's,
way to women
yeah,
with
yeah. And
30s,
I,
70 and going to Turning Stone, and it's nice to hear different players' perspectives
for
at
sure. And
different ages.
I had posted the Lucky Lady series because that's my local close casino, and they are pretty good for ladies with the last night exception. And hopefully they're going to do the Raise It Up program and start making it even more comfortable for us ladies. That's what our last episode is about if you guys want to go see it. And our next episode next week, we have a live stream with a dealer and Floor from Hollywood Park. So we're going to talk about who looked at the episode, and we're going to talk about like some of the comfortability or safety issues there. But
That's awesome.
I already had a lady reach out, Tita. She's a young woman, and we met at a tournament this week, yesterday, the 100K, and it was her first live tournament, which I didn't know. And
Wow.
she lasted a long time. There were three of us ladies, and I was last lady standing final table, the first one to the day two, and then, just kept running into it. Would get finally a good hand, wait, and run it into the big stack with aces with kings or get run
Oh,
out. It was so brutal because I was two from day two, the first one, and then I jumped in the second one. Same thing. Like I just and then the guys saying stuff like uh oh, I think it's so cute when you try to stare me down. It looks really cute. Like, oh my God.
so
Not
unnecessary. Yeah, we have
yeah.
some women that we share our stories all the time. There are women in that rec poker episode that you mentioned. You'll hear Day talk about her experience. She was the one in Florida
Oh
with the
yeah.
guy that played the ladies event that won.
Yeah.
So we have
You,
women talk about, it's kind of like, how do you handle this? And this is what happened to
I
me.
love
And
it.
so there's a lot of support, a
And
lot of laughter.
I'm going to link that to the rec poker. In fact, I will screen share it real quick. If I think you have to stop or I'll cancel
Oh,
you.
sure.
We can
Yeah.
definitely go back to the Discord if you want to. Where's my screen share? There it is. Okay, so let me pull it up. So I just want to show you guys so I don't forget because we're going to go to the tournament choosing next. I got to make sure that I picked the right one. Here it is. Okay, you can see this. Is it big enough or do I need to?
Yeah. I think you
Okay.
can see
Okay. So
the gist of it. And
this,
that's actually Kim at the bottom. I didn't notice that, but yep, that's
um,
Kim at that
where?
from
Right
our
here.
group.
Yeah, yeah. She's part of the
That's
rec
Kim.
poker. And
Yes.
so this is Victoria telling the story about back in I think this is May 8th, 2023, how it started, her motivations, like guys, they think they're so funny when they're like, I'll show you the nuts. Want to see my nuts? Oh, you're hilarious. And I just like give them the pinky finger. We know you have to be better than us women. We get it. I mean, or maybe they just think it's funny, but the things like what got said to me last night or turning over queens, look at those bitches, like they would not say that if their wife was there, and they would not say those things to a man or if their mother or their sister. So I think most men are awesome and they support us and they love having us there, and I like most of them, but if you have a few too
There
many
are
of,
a few.
right, if you have a few too many of the ones that don't like women, or clearly last night another guy said something like if I want to play poker with women, I'll stay home and play with my wife or something like that. And then
Wow.
later he said it again. He's like, she just beats me. I'm tired of it. I don't come here to play with my wife. And it's like, dude, you should
Wow.
be so lucky. I have a husband. Like I feel I don't need another. Yeah, it's just weird. Like they don't say that stuff to each other. I don't get why they say it to us. And again, it's not a lot, but I think it should be addressed by tournament directors and dealers and just like, no, you don't get to. Oh, there was a guy yesterday who didn't say a word to anyone at the table. He looked clearly not just angry, but like he wanted to kill himself. But he looked like a normal, maybe like a businessman or something, right? In like a
Mhm.
polo shirt or something. So we're just all playing. It's the beginning of the tournament. We're having fun. And I'm stuck next to the dealer in seat one, and there's like a little shelf thing that hits my knee, so I couldn't possibly get any closer. I'm not a big person. I'm 5'4". He literally kept putting his foot on top of my feet. There's like a bar on our tables where my feet go to. I have the chair lifted up so I can see the table because I'm shorter than everyone else. He just kept putting his foot, and so I kept shaking his foot off my foot. And then he goes, "Lady, stop touching me." I go, "What are you talking about? You're stepping on my feet, sir." And he goes, floor, she keeps
Oh,
rubbing on me. Yeah, he literally said I was rubbing on him. And all the guys at the table who play with me all the time are like, yeah, she's not rubbing on. Like, I started laughing. He throws a fit. The floor moves him to another chair at the table, which you don't do in a tournament, but he would have had to get rid
that's
of him.
nice that he was that accommodating.
I know. That's
Normally
what
it is.
I thought. And I would thought about it because it's not really fair. And then I just wanted him away from me. So I let it go, and he went all in with ace 8 and got knocked out, and left fuming. But I was like, what did I do? Like he literally kept putting his feet on top of my feet and then freaked out at me. It was just one of those tournaments where I'm
Yeah,
like,
the joys of live poker. I'm
right?
watching the video, the vlogs from the WSOP and hearing the comments, and it's like, oh yeah, I get to do this again for a couple weeks
Yeah,
and
and
hear all the
that's
comments.
on a grand scale too. So you guys go watch this. This is amazing. The story, if you don't know the story, there was a guy named David. Sad David is what I call him right now. Sad David had to enter a women's poker tournament because he thought he could beat all the women. He rebought 3 or 4 times, and there was a bounty put on his head by Ebony Kinney, the Crusher, which I would have wanted to do. We had something similar at Gardens where the last women's tournament we had, there was more, not more, but almost more men than women. The final table, I have video of it, was like at least 4 guys. Luckily, a woman won it, but they not only that, but the trophy that usually says women's championship, they had engraved in. I have a photo of that too, and friends, women and friends tournament.
Because that's what it was. Sure.
And now, yeah,
Wow.
exactly. And they weren't like trans or anybody who identifies as a woman. They were just men, and they had no excuse because there was other tournaments going. They could have, like the bike
Right.
did that at their last live tournament, which was amazing. All of us women who busted out supported this second tournament, right? And we would do that. But now in California, they say legally we can't even have ladies tournaments. Well, guess what? I will save my money and I will travel to Ladies Week in Vegas and Cherokee and to support these other places. And I think most of us women are at the point where we're just tired of it.
Yeah, Jay's the same way, especially after this. That was her
Oh
last
yeah.
ladies event, women's event in Florida. She was done. And
You
so
mean
that was one of
playing ladies
the
events or playing at that
in Florida.
place? Okay.
In Florida got rid of all of the women's events. So now she doesn't even go play the open events because she said, you know, if I can just be a small voice in this and just decide to take my money elsewhere, then that's what I'm going to do. So she drove to Cherokee I
Wow.
mean, she lives in Naples.
Because they do have women's
They don't
events.
anymore after this incident. The
Cherokee
whole
though
state,
doesn't? Does Cherokee or
Cherokee does. Cherokee's North
okay.
Carolina.
How many
So, but
hours?
all of Florida,
What's the
oh goodness,
I
I would
have no idea.
say
Two
12 maybe.
hours? Good for
I mean,
you.
Naples, yeah,
I'm gonna think about that. I might save my money for WPT, WSOP, and even the circuit here in California didn't have a ladies event. They changed it to two senior events and then put one on Mother's Day. So at least they did have another one, and I have a good friend in poker who's awesome running their social media for poker. So I will still support Commerce. They gave me a media pass for the podcast. They do support
oh,
women,
nice.
but yeah, they're very cool. I want to and you can see the shorts from some of the women playing here on the channel too, you guys, and the video or in the episode on it. But I do want to have somebody who knows the legalities in California and maybe Florida who can talk to, like, is this really something they need to be worried about legalities, or should it be illegal when we are being harassed as women? Like, should that be the point, or that men can't join female tournaments? It seems like it's all gotten very backwards
Right.
to me. So, go watch this, you guys. It's got a great pocket queens. Victoria sums it up beautifully, things I had no idea about, and the story about Sad Dave and how he won that tournament. Um, and I wonder where he is today. uh, yeah, it's it's nice that the ladies are finally combining together, right? And pooling resources for this study group. I love the Women's Poker Association. I've started to dip my pinky in PLAN, which is Poker League of Nations. I don't know much about it, but I feel like bang for bang. And they do different things. I've
Right.
gotten the most so far from the Pocket Queens and your study group. So I want to
Yeah,
thank
we're
you.
more of a study group than a social group. I mean, yes, we do social things, but we were founded on the premise of, let's study together
Yeah.
and try to help each other.
And it would be great if all of these groups were not as disparate. I do see crossover. A lot of us belong to all.
Mhm.
If they
Right.
could combine forces more often for something like saying, you know what, no ladies tournament, we're going to go elsewhere. We're going to make it to, maybe we travel and we play less at less bullets or less tournaments or less times a year. But I think that's the only way things are going to change on
Right.
a
You
large
have to show with
scale.
your money, with your
Right.
wallet for
With
sure.
your actions. And I, before we go to the tournament selector, which is the perfect headway, or anything else you want to talk about Pocket
Yeah,
Queens,
that's
or
it. I'm just looking forward to you talking to some of the members. You'll see some pretty
me
fantastic
too. Oh,
ladies.
I can't wait. So we're going to have a whole thing on Pocket Queens from the members, where they were, where they're going, their initiatives, all of it. And then I want to thank for sure Matt Berkey, Solve for Why, Fharaz. Anyone else? You said Negrano and Helmuth, and we saw Phil Helmuth buy a lady in at the WSOP circuit here, just because, like, we see you guys and we 100 million% appreciate you, that you are not threatened by having more women in poker, nor should you be, and just sharing resources and showing it with your wallets and That's amazing. So I just want to make sure that all you guys who are supporting women and all the women, Victoria and Maria, and all the women who have helped, we appreciate you. How do we select the best tournament? Besides it being just ladies or men, I'm almost always going to support the ladies tournaments. How
Right.
how do we do that? And I honestly go through Poker Atlas and some of the other
Okay.
sites, and I just try to, and I have the local stuff, and I just try to like measure like the best bang for my buck. But yesterday or the day before in study group, Stacy blew my mind telling us all that there was a calculator and like a website, a system. So I'm gonna stop my share and let Stacy tell you all about that.
And this is what I'm talking about, is this number right here. This S points number. What does this
Hold
mean
on,
when
I
you see
gotta
these on schedules?
move me so I can see it. Okay.
So this is why I love this. And I'll tell you a little bit of background. I've been going out to the WSOP since 2005, which is when it first got to the Rio. And this was before we had daily tournaments at the Rio itself, but there were other tournaments around town, like at Caesars or at Binion's. And what I would do is, there were tournaments. I didn't want to play $1,500 tournaments. I just started playing poker.
Mm-hmm.
So there were all these lower buy-in tournaments. And I didn't know what to choose from. So I would get the structure sheet and I would put them together and literally sit sometimes at dinner with my husband and be like, okay, this is
Me too.
20-minute blinds and this is 25-minute blinds and this is the starting chips. And I was trying to compare it to figure out, okay, which is the best tournament to play. So then you've got, Venetian comes along and introduced the deep stacks. And, they figured, there's all these people coming in for the poker boom and people want a lot of chips. And I remember being at the Venetian and the tournament director would know like exactly what level we would be in the money. And I was thinking, that's just crazy to me that he
Mm-hmm.
knows like how big the stacks are going to be at that time. So there's this formula that we're not privy to. Um,
Oh,
so
okay.
it's like, they know exactly, the bubble will be at level 14 or 15. And I just thought he was this clairvoyant genius. And that's not the case.
Yeah.
Not the case. So, and then WSOP used to have basically it went dollar for your stack. So you got small starting stacks, and then they went to double stacks, and they went to triple stacks. So all these people started adding more stacks. And then Matt Savage comes in, and of course, he's the end all when it comes to tournament structures and says,
Mm-hmm.
look, guys, I can give you an incredible tournament and give you 10 chips, and it will be the best tournament you've ever played.
Hmm.
And it's like, okay, so there's something to this. So that means that, we didn't have Alan Kessler talking about tournament structures or Twitter back then to
Mm-hmm.
know the difference, to know this is a good one, this is a good tournament, this isn't a bad tournament. So I was on the 2+2 forum, and there was a guy on there, Jason, that created this Rainbow Puppy Sunshine website. And I thought, this is a
That's the
little
other
different.
link. I'll put the links in the description, guys.
So here it is, and this is a way to calculate what tournament is a good tournament. And so what he does, he takes the starting stack and the level lengths, and there's a relationship between that with the antes and blinds, and that produces a number to figure out what is a good structured tournament. And you see these poker schedules with these S points on the side,
Mm-hmm.
and basically the higher the number, the better it is. And what he has on his website for this comparisons here, you're able to go on here, and he took a few different venues and said, okay, you can see as the buy-in gets bigger, the S points also grow. So basically more bang for your buck. When you're going to spend thousands of dollars for a tournament, you're going to get
Mm-hmm.
more value. But how can you, on a limited budget, find the best tournament for you for
Mm-hmm.
your money? Because when I went out to Las Vegas, I'd go out for 2 weeks. I was a cash player, but hey, I'm going to play 2 or 3 tournaments, but I want to get the most for my money. I don't
Yeah.
want to play some tournament where I'm all in by level
Mm-hmm.
6
Mm-hmm.
and I'm flipping. I want something where if I'm going
Bingo.
to spend $500 to $1,000, I want something where I can play for 8 or 9 hours and not have to worry that I'm just going to be flipping for stacks with 5 big blinds, and it's whoever gets lucky. So on this page, you can see here um, the different average of S points. So basically for less than $300, there's tournaments at the Golden Nugget for 59 S points. The Orleans, their best is 39, and the WSOP is 44. So that tells me, hey, probably should look at Golden Nugget
Wow.
and check out some of their tournaments. So
Yeah.
what this does is it also gives you this line of all tournaments here. So basically, 43 is the average of the S points that you're going to get for a $300 tournament.
And what
So
is,
I'm going to show
sorry,
you
VIG percent average? What
VIG.
is that?
That's like your that's the rake. It's synonymous with rake. So that's how much the tournament is taking out for
Got
the
it.
dealers, for the staff,
Okay. Thank
etc.
you. Okay.
So for me personally, I'm not in Vegas very long. If I feel like waking up and playing at the Wynn and
Mm-hmm.
it's not the best thing out there, I'm going to go play there. Do you want to go play at the Orleans or do you want to play at the Wynn? What kind of
It's a
day do you
big
feel like you
time
want to have?
commitment for, it's a big time commitment for most of us too.
It really is. It's
Mm-hmm.
time and money. So, you want to know, how do you pick tournaments with the best value? So here you can see he just gives an average. But what I use this for is you can see, okay, if I'm going to spend $300 to $500, if I can find something around 100 points, that should be great.
Okay.
Um,
And
so the
you're going to
way we
show us
figure
how.
this,
Good. And
I'm going to show
also,
you how to do.
are these just during WSOP time or all the time in Vegas?
So you can take any structure sheet you have. I use this for the circuit,
Oh,
and
okay.
I do want to warn you, circuit, the circuit just came to Commerce, but if the circuit comes
Mm-hmm.
back again, they may tweak the structure. So make sure you redo these
The
every time the
new,
circuit
okay.
comes back,
Good to
because
know.
there are changes.
Yeah.
There are changes. The monster stack at Cherokee used to be in the money day 2. Now it's at dinner
Mm-hmm.
time. So
Okay.
obviously the structures have severely changed.
Yeah.
So
I
there's something
notice
here
they do change a
that is a
lot.
calculator. This is, are you able to see this? This is a sample
Yeah.
structure, and this
Yeah.
is his calculator. And if you're challenged with math, I mean, this is easy math, but if you're challenged at all, you can actually enter it all down here and it will calculate for you.
I will be
So what
doing
we're
that.
going to do, it's
Mhm.
easy, I
With
promise.
my calculator
Promise it's
out.
easy.
Okay, good.
Very easy. Okay, so here we have an example poker series. And as you can see here, the buy-in is $300, but it's $28 is going to go to the staff here. However, this was back in the day when we used to get
Mm-hmm. Maybe
5,000 chips for the add-on.
can we use the Lucky Lady structure of this 100K and see?
Sure.
Do you have that? I could put it in the chat if you want. Let me grab it, or I can give you the numbers. Just because let's see if something like more realistic, and I fired a lot of
Absolutely.
bullets, so I'm curious.
Okay, so which event did you play?
I
Do we have
played the
structures in here?
100K. No, let me find that other
Nope,
sheet.
there it's on here.
Oh,
I think I
okay.
can, there you got it.
It's
So this
number
one?
10, number 10.
Yep.
Yeah. I think
Okay.
those should be the flight 1 day ones. Is that what you need, or do you need the original? I could pull that
This
up
is
while you're.
perfect. Nope,
Oh,
this is
okay.
perfect.
Good. Awesome.
Is this the one you want? Did you get,
Yes.
this
This
look
is the
right?
one I
Okay.
played yesterday, and I had no idea, but I fired two bullets in two different 12 and 5 p.m. Brutal.
You tried very hard.
Yeah. I gave it my best, and I got close.
Okay, so the first thing we want to put on the evaluator is the total buy-in. So the total buy-in was $235. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Then they take $40 for the quote entry fee
Mm-hmm.
and $20 service charge. So that means $60 went to the
VIG.
house.
That would be VIG then. Yeah. VIG. Okay.
That's the VIG.
Oh, VIG and fees. Got it.
Yeah. So
6.
what this is considering is, of that $235, 60 of it did not go to the prize pool.
Okay. And then level
Then
6.
So we go to level 6. Can you tell me how much this level costs?
Yeah, it's going to be 500 for the ante, so 1,300.
Correct.
Awesome.
And level 10, let's get my.
Wow, this is so interesting for me. 10 for 5,000.
18.
40, 50,000. Yeah, it goes. This is way longer than the usual daily structure. Gets bingo at the end of those.
Okay. Now the question is, this 100% of minutes. What this is asking for is you started this tournament with 25,000 starting chips.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Which level cost you 25,000 starting chips? Looks like it's level 16, right?
Yes, 25. Right.
Okay. So this is
Um,
this is the fun part. Now they make you do math. I have eight
hours.
30-minute levels.
Oh, yeah,
So
that's
I'm
easier.
going to do it this way. I'm going to do 8 times 30, which is
Mm-hmm.
240. And then you have these 25-minute levels. So you've got
100.
8 25-minute levels.
Okay.
So that is 440 minutes total. So what that means is that 440 minutes, the tournament will cost you 25,000 chips, your starting stack.
440 minutes, which is 8, 9, 10 hours, something like that.
What we can do is go then to, it's 43 S points and 25% big. We can look at a comparison on what we saw from the comparison page.
Yeah, another 100K maybe.
That, well, anything less than 300, you want to be around 59 S points.
Okay.
And that was at 43.
Where'd it
Took it out, but
go?
that was at 43.
Disappear.
It didn't hold it,
Oh,
unfortunately.
that's a bummer.
But it was 25% VIG, which we saw.
And a good one is, that was 43, and a good one is what? 50.
43 is about average. You can see
Okay.
here, that's kind of average.
Okay. So at least
On
they
par with
were
some of the events.
at average, but you like to go, like, how high of a are you looking for?
The higher, the better. I look for around 70 when it comes to spending between $400 and $600. I don't really play
Okay.
the lower buy-in events because you can see here that VIG was 25%. Look at this. I mean, that's more than anyone else is taking in Vegas. No one takes 25%.
Maybe
That's a lot
that's
of
an
money.
LA thing, but I'm going to try to start running them. Do you think the tournament directors are using this or something similar?
They have a formula where they know if you look at, like, for example, this poker schedule, you can actually find out, like, this is kind of a cool feature.
Mm-hmm.
You can find out from the structure sheet what kind of average stack you're going to have at the bubble. So sometimes
Wow.
we panic and we think, oh, I only have 20 bigs and I'm on the
Okay.
bubble. Well, that's the average stack. So that's kind of a
Is
neat
this
little
hard to do?
feature.
How do you do this? Let's.
This is kind of what the tournament directors know that I don't know
Oh,
how to do
okay. So
that.
did the
But
tournament directors put that in there?
um, I don't know. There's probably another formula that
Okay.
I don't know
So
about.
wait, but how
But
did you find that? Or we can't find it for every tournament. Is
looks
that
like it
what?
doesn't have, yeah, bubble level. Well, there's a way, like I said, back at the Venetian, where they knew when you were going to get in the
Okay.
money. So if you're paying 10%, you're going to be in the money at this level. If you're paying
What
12%,
is
you'll be
this?
this
Which
level.
tournament is this for then? How
This
did you
is just
find
a
this?
horseshoe.
Okay.
This is the monster stack that's
So
coming up this
if
weekend.
it's on this list, we can find it for that tournament like this, correct?
Mhm.
Like the
It's
Caesar
nice to have it
Daily.
all here
How
at
did you
once.
find it? Go to the Caesar Daily and show us how you found it, please, if you can, or any of them.
Of course, I can do any
Orleans.
of them.
Orleans seems
Ooh,
to have a really good S score, so I will go check out Orleans next time I'm in Vegas for
right.
sure.
So here's the bubble. I mean, Caesars,
Okay.
11 big blinds at the bubble. I mean,
So
talk about a shove fest. That's why it's
it's
20
a
S
bingo
points.
game. Yeah. So
Right.
we scroll down and that's on the page of the tournament and that's where you found it, correct?
I found it over here in this arrow.
Oh,
Yes,
okay.
and then scroll down. Yeah, and then you scroll down within the tournament structure. But here you can see, I mean, this is the kind of thing. It's like if you're going out to Vegas and you have a limited budget, you can
I
see,
do. I
okay,
mean, yeah.
for $250, here's, around the same time, I can
Mm-hmm.
play a 250 at Horseshoe, the deep stack, for 38 S points, or I can
Mm-hmm.
go to Resorts World and play
Yep.
a 200. Now, granted, it's not going to have the same field size, but you're going to be at Resorts
Which
World
is
and
better.
less
Yeah.
money for a better structured tournament.
And
So
Resorts World supports our ladies
they
championship and all of our ladies tournaments. So I am there. In fact, I might stay there versus the Encore now and the
There
win
you go.
room. Yeah.
And
because
the win,
yeah,
the win also has some great things for lady, but you can, but
that's
at
true.
least this gives you a guide where it's like, okay, what are my choices? And
Hmm.
the big thing too is with satellites, they're going to be anywhere from 10 to 25, maybe 30. So you want to try to find the best satellite you can. Um,
Um,
but
I love
I
this.
love
Is this
all of them.
only for the WSOP or all tournaments in Vegas, both of them or either of them?
So this is going to be this is going to have other tournaments. There's a tournament like this that Kim Unger does that people use this a lot, this Tableau sheet. It's incredible. She used to have the S points, but it was taken off. And I think because this year the WSOP is charging more rate, they're charging 1% more on a lot of their lower buy-in tournaments. So that kind of changes your S points a little bit. Um, so that's no longer on here, but those S points are not available, but everyone can know now from the other website on how to figure out your own S points.
That's
So
awesome. Thank you so
super
much.
easy calculator, even for the math challenged,
Yeah, and if
easy to
there's
figure
any
out.
more, send me the links and I'll put them in the comments or the description. Poker Tableau, I'll get that from you because I didn't spell it correctly real fast. We've got rainbows
I
and
have
puppies, and we've got
Rainbow's Puppy Sunshine for Jason.
yeah.
Yes, and he's been doing that for years.
And
And
if you
he,
want to
he
put the people involved, I will list that as well because that's amazing that they came up with this stuff and they're offering it. Yeah, because I don't know who
Well,
that.
and there's also, Kenny. I don't know if you're familiar with Kenny Hallert. He is
Mm-mm.
a Belgian tournament director who comes over and he's been doing he started the whole spreadsheet thing.
Oh,
Kenny,
Kenny.
yeah. So Kenny would do, um, everyone called it, the WSOP spreadsheet, and everyone knew what they were talking about. And he was kind of the first one to come in and list all of the tournaments and the times and the buy-ins um, and you could manipulate the spreadsheet to kind of figure out what you were going to play. So
Love
he
it.
started with that, and he would add. It was basically just kind of the date and time of all tournaments. But then people like him started, putting in the rake, putting in the blind level, putting in the starting stack, because those are all kinds of things
Mm-hmm.
you want to, you want
They
to know.
factor. Yeah, they
But it's
factor.
and it's something to look at. I mean, it doesn't. It's not all about starting stack. People say, oh, well, I used to look at a structure and be like, oh, it's 30-minute blinds and and 40K starting. It's got to be great.
Yeah.
But if there's a bunch of levels missing,
Yeah.
then maybe it's not so great. So that's
Right.
why you can use this S point calculator and figure out if it's really a good structure.
That's awesome. I have one last question about these. Is there any that, or if there isn't anyone out there knows of any that we could just plug in any tournament from any city and get some results as long as we have all the numbers? Like we could
Don't
use
know
maybe
if
Poker Atlas and plug in numbers. It's okay if you don't know. I'll search and see. I didn't even know what to call them before.
Yeah,
Um,
the tricky part is structures usually have to be approved by gaming. So once a casino puts out the tournament, then structures have to be approved.
okay.
They follow later and they change. So it's
Okay.
kind of like you have to redo it every time a series comes.
You mean making a new structure or running it through to know the value?
Running it through, I would run it
Okay.
through again
Oh, for
because there
sure.
are
Yeah.
times where
Yeah.
I've seen over the circuit year after year, there
Uh,
are many levels
Yeah.
that get removed.
I always look to make sure it's similar or the same, and they do change them quite a lot. Or we'd be like, wait a minute, what happened to the next level? It literally is gone, and you're
Mm-hmm.
in a shove fest. So yeah, thank you for that. Um, I love this. Thank you so much for
Thanks for having me.
being
Thank
so
you for coming to the
kind.
group.
Of course, I'm so excited. I wish it was a better time for me work-wise, but I'm just going to show up as much as I can. And
Please
for
do.
the Wednesdays as also, and learn it so I can help some other ladies someday with that. And
Awesome.
yeah, you were an excellent guest. I can't wait to put
Thank you.
this podcast up, and would love to have you back anytime. And we're
Sure.
gonna, even when, if you want to, or when the founders of Pocket Queens come on, and we'll let you guys know a little bit more about Pocket Queens when there's something else. Rachel said okay already. Would love to have more ladies on to tell their stories, and I just think it's going to inspire more ladies who find this. And you guys share with your friends, like, comment, all the things that boost it so people can find women, and the men who support them can find their way and we can have more happy women in poker.
Cheers to
Awesome.
that.
Yeah. Thank you.